September 24th, 2020, work session of the Penfield Planning Board. Welcome everybody in Penfield, Yonkers, Binghamton, and around the world. All right. Due to the COVID-19 virus and the closing of town operations consistent with Governor Cuomo's executive orders, including Executive Order 202.6, which suspended certain provisions of the Open Meetings Law, and Executive Order 202.15, which postponed public hearings unless they can be held remotely through the use of telephone conference, video conference, and or other similar services. The September 24th, that's this, Planning Board meeting, will be held remotely, which we are. It is being video recorded and also broadcast live via the town's website at www.penfield.org, as well as on cable access channel 1303. And it is also being streamed via a number of streaming media services. So with that, Lori, would you please call the roll?
Sure. Hetzke.
Hetzke here.
Knauer.
Knauer here.
Tidings.
Tidings here.
Burton.
Burton here.
Sangster.
Sangster here.
O'Connor.
O'Connor here.
Weissar.
Weissar here.
Gray here.
Okay, great. We're all here. We have meeting minutes from September 10th. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to review them. And if somebody would care to make a motion to approve?
Tidings will make a motion to approve.
Okay, do we have a second? Okay.
Hetzke.
Hetzke, aye.
Bastian. Oh, he's absent. Burton.
Aye.
Knauer.
Knauer, aye.
Tidings.
Tidings, aye.
All right. Doug, would you like to go through our agenda?
All right. So for your tabled application, we have no updates on that. They requested more time to get revised plans in.
Okay.
Your first action item is 1661 Empire Boulevard. It is a building modification request. This application first came before the board back in August of 2017 with an approved site plan in April of 2018. Condition number 4 of that approval resolution stated that any modification of the approved building design, including colors, doorways, windows, and other architectural elements, would be required to come back before the board. They are proposing to change what is phase 2, the private residence behind the commercial operation, changing the architecture of that. There's going to be no change to the footprint. It's the same size footprint, the 46 by 46. But they are eliminating the side entrance off of Rossman. They are moving that door over to the front with the 4 overhead doors, vehicular doors. They are looking to add a new overhead door on the south-facing side. He states that is to allow for getting lawn equipment out without having to move vehicles out of the garage. It'll be a full 2-story structure instead of the sort of Cape Cod with dormers style that was previously approved. Materials are going to be consistent with the building in the front, same color, same materials, the shingles on the top with the vinyl siding below.
Has the fire marshal had an opportunity to weigh in on these changes?
We have not talked to the fire marshal regarding these changes.
Okay.
I don't necessarily see a big issue with it. The one thing that I noticed was the north elevation facing Rossman Drive used to be it was a pretty welcoming facade or frontage, and the newly proposed north elevation is kind of lacking that. I'm wondering if maybe some windows or something could be put in on the first floor.
That is something we can request of
To
the
make it
applicant.
look a little nicer. what everybody else thinks about that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think it would definitely make it look more residential, as, you know, and
Yeah, as
nicer.
opposed to more of a-
Rossman, since that's kind of the main side besides Empire Boulevard.
Right.
Yeah, I know there was some dialogue when we went through the initial approval process about catching, you know, motor vehicle headlights into that, you know, lower level. But they could always put in spandrel glass if, you know, if that's the case.
Or shades. Window shades,
Yeah.
or blinds or something. That's, I mean, that's a garage too.
Yeah, the lower levels,
Lower
just the
levels of garage.
garage.
Well, there's a toilet room down there, and there's a stairwell going up to the apartment. In fact, that one window that you see on the upper level is into the stairwell landing on the second floor.
Yeah. I know, I'd like to see something there.
Yeah, agreed.
So I don't know if we could say approve with suggested modifications, or if we want to rate, or,
So our next meeting's October 8th. If you would like, we can have the applicant revise their elevations or their drawings to show additional windows or architectural changes that you guys request.
Yeah, and the reason I ask about the fire marshal is that, you know, this was admittedly a very tight site.
yeah,
So putting an overhead door on another side, you know, could have an impact for maneuverability of emergency equipment. I just think he should take a look and see if there's any impact from his perspective.
Right.
So the proposed overhead door on the south side would go out to a lawn area. There wouldn't be a pad or any impervious. They're not
For
adding
like
any
a
additional
lawn
impervious.
tractor or-
It's just, he's gonna have, I believe he has the space to fit 10 vehicles in the garage. He stated he doesn't want to have to move 2 or 3 cars to get the lawnmower out, to mow the lawn, to put it back. So the south door, we see it a lot with residential houses where somebody will have a rear overhead door on the back side of their garage that backs out to the backyard where they get lawn equipment out.
yeah, or like a shed. You know,
To get a tractor, yeah. Yeah, I'm not opposed to the, that on the south side.
I'm not either.
We did have a brief discussion with the building department. They didn't seem to have any issues with it because we wanted to make sure that that overhead door didn't require any additional pad or impervious space that would change the lot coverage numbers.
Okay.
So, I mean, is there a suggestion that we should table this until the next meeting? Or is it something that we can give the go-ahead overall conceptually? We just want to see something different on the north elevation.
What's the status, sir? I mean, if he hasn't started yet, then it might not.
Yeah, I don't think they've
Might
started, I
not
haven't
be.
seen
Yeah,
anything.
they
on it.
haven't started construction. They
Yeah,
have
it
not
probably
started
wouldn't
construction on
matter.
that residence yet.
Okay, so it wouldn't be a hardship holding them up or anything if we waited 2 weeks?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. What's, everybody agree with that, or
I'm fine with that.
how's?
Yeah.
All right, table pending
Yeah, so
updated.
we
Some
wanna move
discussion,
to-
yeah.
Do we need to move to table? Pete, do you know? Since it's an action item?
It's an action.
You could, I mean, you can make it clear what you're looking for, that they know what you're waiting for.
Okay, why don't we do that? Somebody want to move it?
I move to table pending a resubmittal from the applicant's architect for some additional windows and architectural features on the north side of the building.
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay.
Hetzke.
Hetzke, aye.
Burton.
Aye.
Canower.
Canower, aye.
Tidings.
Tidings, aye.
Okay. Next
All right.
item.
All right, so your next item is 1229 Bay Road, Simply Crepes. They were before the board back in 2019. They were approved in October of 2019. They're requesting minor site plan modification and modification to architecture. Jim, do you want to?
You all
Oh.
set? Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I will be recusing myself from this application.
Okay. Let the record show that Board Member Burton has recused himself from this application.
Okay, so the minor site plan modification that they're requesting is some additional concrete where there was previously some green space and a change to the parking lot. On the northeast side, going to the neighboring property, K.R. Steinmiller Enterprises, there was originally a landscaped island with grass and a curb. They requested that to go to asphalt and stripe it, so it's not a parking space. In addition, there was some green space along sort of the parking area here on either side of the sidewalk. They requested additional concrete there for the new electric meter, as well as the ability to space out tables a little bit more. They're not asking for an increase in the number of tables, but given what's going on with our current situation, they would like to be able to space out tables a little bit more. On the architectural side, they originally came in while they were going through the building, doing renovations for the new use. They found that most of the windows were pretty rotted through and were going to have to be replaced. They are now proposing to do a sort of sliding door window on the front face. It'll allow for, as they stated, a better sort of indoor-outdoor feel. Right now, patrons are a little worried about eating indoors. They stated this would help maybe put people at ease to have a little bit more of the indoor-outdoor. In addition, they're requesting an additional window on the side facing the parking, as well as an additional door dedicated specifically for pickup orders. In addition, they're moving the main entrance door from the east face facing Bay Road to the north face facing the parking lot.
Right.
In addition, they're changing the materials. It'll be a white on black theme with white horizontal vinyl siding on the lower section, a white board and batten style vinyl on the upper section with black trim work and black windows. We do have the applicant on Zoom if you do have any questions.
Okay, the only questions I have are really related to green space. Does the additional impervious surface affect their green space to a point where it's an issue?
No, it increases their green space by about 1%, but it puts they're still about 3% under the threshold.
Okay. I'm personally, I'm fine with that. I don't know how you two feel.
What was the original approved, that they're changing it to white siding now with black trim? What was it initially?
I'd have to look that up. I believe it was going to.
Mr. Romeo could answer
Yeah,
that.
I think if you want, you can ask Frank.
Good evening, everybody. The original approval was to leave the building as it was, with gray siding and some white trim, which the prior user and tenant had. And what we're going to do is pretty much keep the building the same look with the horizontal siding, going from a light dove gray to a white. And up in the front on the elevation facing Bay Road, up in the gable, we would put board and batten vertical siding up in that area just to kind of break up that front facade a little bit. and I may have misunderstood what Doug was saying before, but it was never our intention to use the door that faces Bay Road as the main entrance. That door was part of the prior approval, and it was for accessing the patio that would be going in with the pergola on top. The main entry door was always facing the parking lot, which is, I believe that's the north elevation. It's a little confusing to me anyway. And what we're doing is replacing that storefront on that side to be consistent with the storefront that we want to replace on the Bay Road side, and putting a double door in instead of a single door.
Okay.
I apologize.
Thank you.
If I was incorrect in that,
Does that clear up your? Does that
Yeah.
answer your
Well,
question?
you may have been correct, but that was always my understanding.
I mean, I
And
totally
there's-
understand the reason for
Yeah.
needing to make changes to accommodate the new normal.
Sure.
and
Yeah,
survive.
if I could give you another comment, the section, that Allyn that we want to take out, you feel that that'll, impede traffic and customers trying to make a turn and riding over that island. So we like to stripe it. I think it'll just be better traffic flow, make it a little easier for snow plowing. And I'm certainly not an expert when it comes to COVID, but I've done a lot of research, and I have built a lot of restaurants over the last 40 years. I have a lot of tenants that have restaurants. And talking to them and reading what the CDC has put out, the very best thing you can do is have fresh air. Changing the air in the restaurants is the second best thing, and it's how many times you change it and replace the air that's in there. And I think people are very sensitive to this now, so we'd like to get some more fresh air into the into the dining room. We've got all brand new HVAC systems going into this building. We've gutted everything back to the studs and fixed little problems here and there that we found. But all new mechanicals, new electric service, so we're really taking a very proactive approach to everything that we can. So we just like a little more room to spread this out for comfort.
Okay.
I think actually we'll be losing some seating, in the restaurant itself once we, do this correct spacing, and we'd have the same problem outside.
Okay,
Sounds good to me.
sounds good.
Yep.
Somebody
Yeah,
want to?
there's no additional ZBA actions?
no, we didn't see any need to take
Yeah.
them back to the zoning board.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah, I'm good.
all right, somebody want to move to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve.
I will second.
Okay, we have a motion by Tidings, a second by Canower.
Hetzke,
Hetzke, aye.
Canower,
Canower, aye.
Tidings.
Tidings, aye.
All right, it is approved.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you at the grand opening.
All right, sounds
Sure.
great, thanks. Have a good night.
Thank you, Frank.
And we can invite Mr. Burton back into the meeting.
All right, the last item we sort of had for you guys was, last meeting, we provided you with the draft meeting dates for 2021. I didn't really hear any concerns, so if you guys are interested, you can go ahead. Would you like to approve?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll move to approve the meeting schedule for 2021.
I'll second. Tidings, second.
Hetzke,
Hetzke, aye.
Burton,
Burton, aye.
Canower,
Canower, aye.
Tidings.
Tidings, aye.
Okay, we have a schedule.
Okay.
Anything else on the agenda tonight?
That's all we have for you tonight.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for coming. Thanks everyone around the world for watching. Our ratings are improving every day, and we appreciate it. With that, we'll adjourn and see you in 2 weeks.